In case you thought anybody in Washington was driving this thing, they are not. It's official, the Department of Treasury is now issuing debt at pandemic levels. That was twice the previous record, and here we are again. In raw numbers, latest figures for Q4 2023 show Treasury issued $7 trillion in new debt in just 3 months. For the entire year, it came to $23 trillion. That has bloated the Treasury market. It's now up 60% since the pandemic. In other words, 1/3 of outstanding U.S. debt has fresh ink on it. It's also up roughly sixfold since the 2008 crisis, meaning if we hit another crash, it could be a lot bigger. At this point, federal debt is rising by $1 trillion every 90 days, and U.S. government spending as a percent of GDP is at World War II levels. Given we are not in a world war, at least in theory, nor are we in a pandemic, why so much debt? Easy, it is buying growth. As Balaji Srinivasan puts it, the economy isn't real, it's propped up by debt, they will fake it till they break it. Even the Wall Street Journal, who loves debt, is sounding the alarm, writing that rapid growth in debt often ends badly. And given the enormous size and alleged safety of U.S. debt, any, quote, instability could be catastrophic. Why catastrophic? Because U.S. Treasuries are treated like cash by everything from banks to pension funds to large corporations and individual 401ks. A Treasury is essentially seen as cash that pays interest. This is false, of course. A Treasury is actually a promise from Uncle Sam to pay you back someday, perhaps 20 or 30 years in the future. That means that unlike cash, any concerns that investors might have about Uncle Sam's ability or willingness to pay can crash Treasuries. Now, if that happens, it immediately sends the entire banking system, the pension system, and hundreds of corporations into default. Indeed, it could break the payments plumbing that underpins the entire financial system, meaning you wouldn't be able to get money. Not your salary, not your mortgage, not your groceries. If that all sounds dire, recall that all of these are sustained by the gossamer-thin belief that Uncle Sam will pay back every last penny with interest. This is curious given that neither voters, who in theory run the country, nor Congress, who actually does run the country, seem to think the debt is real. You can actually try this at home. Tell a voter that student loan bailouts will cost $1 trillion, meaning 10 grand out of their pocket, or that another war will cost 30 grand out of their pocket. Most don't care because it's not real. So the voters don't think it's real. Congress doesn't think it's real, but literally everything depends on the illusion that every penny of federal debt will be repaid in full with interest. What could go wrong? So what is next? Brought to you by Unchained.com. Every fiscal trend is in the wrong direction. We're already at $2 trillion deficit. It will soar by yet more trillions when recession hits, and it will keep churning with Social Security and Medicare both growing and spending on everything from illegal immigrants to fresh wars. At this point, there is nothing standing between us and fiscal collapse. There is no countervailing force. The only question is when. Check out the whole article at profsaintange.com with charts and all the gory details. Okay, we'll be watching. See you next time.